us, knuckle-headed, backstabbing, no so petty. No way, there ain't no saving me. Boy, I be too selfish within my method. My tunnel vision so irreverent. Why would anybody pay my fee?
You got me red-headed, causing mad havoc. I'm that headache with a bad habit. Got no self-control. Boy, I be that mad hatter with them bad matters. Dag nabbit, causing mad panic. Would you say my soul? Is there redemption for your boy? Flesh only seems to destroy. See defeat with my ego deployed. Melodies with a cease be the void. Penalty of me fleeing his joy. Have to me when to cling to the Lord. Other half me bringing the ball with the path with the pain that's in store. Finna bring when I bust to the floor. Man, I'm calling to the floor. Kid, I'm kinda keep my score on account of being counted to the floor. Oh no, that was this again. Yeah, that chip again. It's magnificent. This ambivalence might be the end to him. Spirit singing hymns, flesh is seeking skins. Bring them violence. This game nobody wins. Giving it to every limb. I'm that villain. I ransack your village. Get my millions up. See you living. My skin turned vermilion. The plot thickens up. Corrupted mission. Headed to perdition. Minutes almost up. Lord, please listen. I need your forgiveness. Sick of messing up.
Envious, knuckle-headed, backstabbing, no so petty. No way, there ain't no saving me. Boy, I be too selfish within my method. Tunnel vision so irreverent. Why would anybody pay my fees? Their redemption for a feeling. Oh Lord, what's the end for me? Is there redemption for a villain? Yeah. Is it triumph or tragedy?
Oh, wretched man, oh no, wretched man, don't get it dim advances. Pleasures of this world, they leave you wounded there without a bandage. Oh, wretched man, oh no, wretched man, don't get it dim advances. It is never over, no, my God's a God of second chances. Spent my whole life as a villain, wanna make this whole world mine. Drunk off the grapes, I was chillin'. Now I live attached to the vine. Cup full of rap or a glass full of wine. Walk the path where I pass to the light. Will a villain be a mask for the night? In the morning, would he pass on the fight and believe that his grace was a fight?
Envious, knuckle-headed, backstabbing, no so petty. No way, there ain't no saving me. Boy, I be too selfish within my method. My tunnel vision so irreverent. Why would anybody pay my fees? Their redemption for a feeling. Oh Lord, what's the end for me? Is there redemption for a villain? Yeah. Is it triumph or tragedy? Yeah.
what you need that I know. What you need that I know. What you need, what you need. What you need, what you need. A Camino, one Gino, going hard in the field, I'm a lingo. Got the charm in the mill, he lucky. Ugly boy wanna try, can't touch me. There's a Mina on Frida. You don't know how I got so free, huh? Sweet tea, but I got that me mug. Say hot, but I've been on freezer. Got flavor for the majors, but they gonna owe me paper. No, none of y'all can claim her. No, none of y'all can blame her. No, none of y'all can snatch her. No, none of y'all is factors. Yes, I come in like raptors. Yes, I come in like national level on my word. Y'all been getting on my nerve. Tell them boys it's my turn. Tell them girls come learn. I've been fishing all this time, but I know I caught down. What I wrote is on prime. You don't know I'm on mine. Play me, bing your crime. Roller coaster on my web. Trapeze on my line. I just know what I crave. Balance beam on my life, but I know what's in way. But I know what's in way. But I know what's in way. What you need that I know. 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 What you need What you need all this I got it. Taking off my suit and tie, still boss bitch on a high grind, cutting up that hate of mine. We got this state of mind. I can't miss the way I feel. Hit by hit is the way I drill. Grip by grip is the way I climb. How I reach be so sublime. Got his body with a God flow. Another hottie bringing fuego. What I do penetrate so. How I move meditate mode. Who you know ain't the same though. Why I move how I move, yo? Cause I know how they do, bro. Cause I know what it do, bro. Like whoa, like God, like you don't know. I got something for show. I rock so rock and roll. I pop your bubble. I block so slow your roll. I pop like shock and go. I mop your whole flow. You know. I'm going non-stop. Higher in the always been on the very top. But giving out obituaries to every imposter. Make sure they tell you I'm a different type of monster. What you need that I know. 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 What you need What you need that I know. 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 What you need I got it.
Hey everybody, welcome to the community stream here. It's playoffs, knockout week, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. We're down to our final 6 teams here in Challengers Elite Stage 2 in both Europe and North America. And if you are new to the community stream, well, my name's Infinity. I'm joined by Proper, the man, the myth, the legend, the one with the excellent haircut. Proper, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing fantastic, and I had to quickly glimpse over at my third monitor just to make sure what exactly the shirt was that you were talking about in the digital green room. That is a beautiful shirt. Now I just feel like I'm underdressed for the occasion. I feel like I'm basically ready to go to the beach, and I'm ready for these knockout matches. We got a lot to go through. We already covered a lot through the previous 2 weeks as far as the overall stage 2 is concerned with the 8 teams. Now, when you look at the overall 67K train hard, they are out. We are down to those 6 teams that you were talking about. And for the matchup that we have here between what is now Obtained, former Team Moon, going up against this Elite 2 roster, throughout the round robin, I mean, Team Moon did get the upper hand as far as this matchup is concerned, but it went to a map number 5. So I think in between the time when that matchup happened and now, we can probably instinctively guess that this Elite 2 roster is definitely going to come to play.
Yeah, for sure. Both of these 2 teams, I think they were both teams which you would consider dark horse contenders in the run-up for the title of champions in Elite Stage 2 here in Europe, but they do have quite a lot to do. We are jumping straight into map number 1, though. We'll talk more about the analysis after the match to talk about exactly what's happened and the like. Andy, we're right into the swing of things here with Elite 2 versus Obtained Esports.
6-6 overall throughout stage number 2 are Elite 2 on hardpoint, and well, Moscow, they've only played it once. I do believe, no, they haven't played it at all, but as far as Moscow hardpoint is concerned, update or not, you still just want to try to keep this opening hill scrappy. You have a lot of time to try to play for these P2 hills, which Obtained are currently holding. The coverage through the middle of the map is what you're mostly looking for. In Elite 2, they might be able to get some time before they can start pushing for these spawns.
And that's the question, isn't it, going into this week, of course. I mean, we're still talking about this map as it is. Nothing's really changed too much. However, we do have this looming question coming into this week, don't we, about the meta and such. Really, how's the meta going to look? Are we still going to be seeing AK-74Us? Are we still going to be seeing Krig 6s here in Europe? Obviously, we didn't see QBZs before. The answer at the moment seems to be resoundingly yes as we move over towards the P2 hardpoint. Elite 2 trying to make their way over there. You got to deal with Aroma in the backline, though. Brezzy also in this power position inside Police, and at the moment looks to be Hawkey and Grad trying to make their way on in. Brezzy's going to deal with one before falling, however. There's still presence around the backline, and actually Aroma still causing issues here, gets a 2-piece and keeping these spawns for Obtained.
It's just an absolute nuisance. This is what happens when you don't get an AR player out of this top police station. You still see Elite 2 just desperately trying. They even try to break it from the front, but even though Obtained, they're finding all these kills. I mean, Brezzy 7-4, you're talking about Aroma so now being able to find number 3. They're just getting on for the scrap time. Elite 2 have done a great job of just contesting from the front while also getting that scrap time I was noting on P1. Plus, they have the rotation over towards Noon. Now, keep in mind, this is about to be contested. It's a quick rotation for Obtained. They know they got to break this early.
They do indeed. You've got 2 players around the back. You see how they deal with them. PD's not even able to get that gunfight. Raffi and Wardy both win their gunfights, and now Genesis, the only player over here, has been a monster addition to this lineup when they formed at the start of stage 2. Unfortunately for him, though, he is going to fall, and now it's just down to 1 player actually in the backline. It was Raffi. He's going to fall, and there is still this perpetual problem around the backline for Elite 2. Finally, they get rid of Pete. A lovely stick coming in from Grad as well, and Obtained Esports. They're batted away for now.
Hockey at 3-6, not exactly a fantastic start for them, but still Elite 2 are just doing a great job of just being in the power positions and just shutting down Obtained when it absolutely means the most. It's only a 20-point game, yes, but so far not too bad for Elite 2, regardless of how much Obtained have been doing as far as slaying is concerned. But now we start shifting our focus towards rotation as Elite 2 will secure this scrap time on P3. We're all focused towards that boulevard where the lock is located on the map, and Obtained will be here originally, but Elite 2, they want to break this again coming out from the bank.
Elite 2, they've been so good at breaks in this game thus far. There's a reason they've got themselves a slight advantage, but now Brezzy has so much to do here. Again, just one of the better subs we do actually have here in European Challengers, and he's had so much experience in Call of Duty over the years that really can rise up to the challenge when it's necessary. At the moment, though, he is going to fall, and now Obtained going to have to come from a one-dimensional attack from the front of the hard point. Currently, it's not working out all that badly, but you can see Elite 2 winding up here, ready to try and attack this hill. Wardy's able to pick up 1. Elite 2 still raising the pressure inside. Genesis looking for the second inside bank. That's not to be. Grad, he is going to fall. And Elite 2, they do have some pressure here on this hard point. This is the power position, isn't it, Andy? That's really problematic for Obtained.
It really is, and you saw what was most influential from that break from Elite 2 coming out of bank was Wardy getting inside this rusted bus, was able to find 2, now on a 4 spree, 14-6 for them. And like you were talking about, Elite 2, as far as breaks are concerned, have been there continuously through that first set of hills. They find themselves just at about a 50-point lead over Obtained going in towards the second set, doing a great job of just keeping it scrappy. Wardy now on a 5 spree, the potential to play for streaks now with the Boulevard control as we go back towards the center of the map for a new set of hills.
We do indeed. Obtain, they are down by about 40 points at the moment. They'll be able to come back into this if they get the majority of this time. But when Hawkey's doing stuff like that, it's really hard to do it. You have Hawdy now on a 6 spree. Just one more kill. He shut down the artillery strike. Brezzy comes through. A clutch kill to take him out of those streaks early on. But Elite 2 elsewhere, they've broken into the hard point. However, for Obtain, not the worst thing in the world. You do have some modicum of control over the spawns.
Look at Hockey. Hockey does not want to give up this police station. Remember what happened last time when Aroma got in there? We started going on a little bit of a tear, but it's Grad over by this bomb site inside of Laundry that finds a nice 2. That's going to end up flipping out the spawns. You see Elite 2 now spawning inside of the police station. They will have that secured for the rotation, but they had to give up a lot of time over by P1, but it's still Elite for Elite 2. Now it's Wardy and top police with this power position, and they will be able to secure at least the initial 20 for Obtain to try to break through the Boulevard.
And Wardy in this position, it's just so hard to deal with, right? He's 19-8. He's having a monster game here on Moscow Hardpoint. And if he continues as he is, Obtain will have a really hard job to get into this hard point. And he's just in this perfect position to take out all these players. You've got Hawkey there as well. Why the hell not? Genesis is the last player left alive here on this particular push. And Elite 2 just doing such a stellar job of making sure that Obtain don't even get a whiff of the hard point. They're winning pretty much all of their ones here. So Obtain look to continue to push on through. 25 seconds left. You're going to start thinking about that rotation sooner rather than later. And as we turn our attention over here, massive rotational gunfight to win for Rafi versus PT. How do you play this if you're Rafi? You're all on your own for just a moment. PT's still here. Rafi's going to get this kill, no doubt in my mind. Actually, Grad takes him out from the front, but Rafi still has so much to do around the back line. He's able to take down 1. Now Genesis and Aroma, they're the next players up to deal with.
Wardy is 20-9. It's just not slowing down. Genesis, on the other hand, is just heating things up. Now on 11-16, just trying to break this from the front, and it will be successful. And it's still 45 seconds left inside P3. Obtain, they can make this a money hill. Great break from them to bring them back inside the hill, but they got to hold on to every last bit of the second. Elite 2, they don't want to give it up entirely. They're stacking together. They're hitting it all the way through Brank. They want to break this from the back.
They do indeed. Aroma's got so much to do. He is able to line up 1. He's going to fall, though. So Elite 2 still continuing to mount the pressure around the back. But PD, the flex player here for Obtained Esports, still looking pretty good with the Krig 6. Even post-patch, he's able to take down 2. But the pressure might prove to be too much here as Elite 2 looking to break on in for the last 20 seconds of time, and they will. And perhaps more importantly here, Andy, they do have control over the spawns for Nu. You have Hawkey trying to push him through Bank. He is actually snuffed out here by PT as these fights do go down for the scrap time. Rafi's able to pick up 1. We turn our attention over towards the next hard point, though, and it is Elite 2 here.
Now, Wardy is the bus driver. You do not want to get in the 1v1 versus Wardy for that bus. You remember what happened in the first set of hills. And that's where that spree really started to kick things off. But Aroma will take them down. Again, Obtained finally able to stabilize off of a very scrappy end towards that P3. 50 seconds between these two teams. The initial time will be good for Obtained. You're able to find bank control. Now it's just about reading the spawns, and they're definitely going to know with Wardy's 2Ps coming from the globe side.
So all these kills, man, it's a problem for Obtained Esports. Elite 2 finding their way in once again for the last 30 seconds of time. And at this point in the game, it is not time that you can give up to this Elite 2 lineup as they look to soak it all up. You've got Brezzy coming in from small. Hawkey able to pick him up, but there is a trade on in. Rafi has an important one to win, and he will. And that's another 10 or 15 seconds that will go Elite 2's way. And at the end of the second set of rotations, Elite 2, they have never looked more in control of this game. They are 70 to 80 points in the lead here versus Obtained. Obtained need one hell of a swing to find their way back in, and look at this wave of kills coming in from Elite 2.
Oh, it's absolutely filthy. They're threatening to put themselves over 200 points. Elite 2 through all of stage 2 are just absolutely bringing it on home. And just even statistically, you would thought that this would be great for Obtain. They're 9-4 overall for hard points. They barely lose hard points by a marginal amount, and they are just getting handed through rotations. I mean, Wardy now at 29-12, 20-19. Grad has picked things up, and you're seeing just the slaying pressure continuously coming on through from Elite 2. They have a whole hill over Obtain. So now they just got to keep it scrappy, but they lose the gunfight almost convincingly. Wardy would love to find this gunfight. They don't, but still the threaten for the rotation over towards P2. Obtain, they essentially have to play flawless going forward.
They do indeed, and you mentioned it right there, that hard point statistic. It's the strong game mode here for Obtained, especially compared to the Search and Destroy and the Control, which we will definitely talk about as we go later on into this series, but this is a must-win for Obtained Esports. And now the fight for the new rotation. Hawkeye is taken down. So the first wave of gunfights do go Obtained's way, but they have so much to do here. Pressure coming in from Hotel. Or from the lobby, sorry. Wardy and Grad already there. Grad tries to make his way in. He does actually find his way in. Gets the kill on a Brezzy. Somehow hasn't been taken down. Finally, he is. MP5 now coming out from Genesis. We're finally starting to see a little taste of the new meta potentially coming through here after this update. As Genesis looking to heat things up with that new weapon. But here comes Elite 2. Brezzy gets 2 huge gunfights to hold on to that time. And overall there, Obtained able to do so much in terms of getting time on the board to try and close the gap between them and Elite 2.
Oh, Brezzy going down means that Genesis is going to get the information, finds the trade kill over towards Grad. Now you're worried if you're Elite 2. You have no idea where Genesis is at with his MP5, starting to heat things up. Like, whatever you got to do to be able to find the coverage, whatever you got to do to be able to find the kills, this is good for Obtain. How many times have we talked about if Brezzy and Genesis are really heating things up, this team is absolutely filthy. But now they got to break in towards Elite 2 setup for P3. You already got PD towards his back line. It's able to find a kill, so that could be an opening for Obtain to work their way in.
This needs to be a break for Obtained. You cannot afford to give up this time to Elite 2. They more likely than not will not win it off the back of this hill, but it's still time that will bring them closer to that gap. You've got Genesis and Brezzy. They're able to win their ones. Now all on Grad and Wardy. Just Grad now. A 1 versus 3 inside the hard point. Obtained, they break on in for the last 30 seconds of time. PD's able to pick up that. And now if you're Elite 2, you face this choice. Do you push in for this time or do you give it up and focus on that rotation? They seem to have chosen the former here, but it might not work out. It's just Wardy around the front. He's going to fall. Hawkeye's the last player of any choice in this particular situation. He falls. And now we turn our attention over towards the new hard point. It is going to be Obtained. Just about going to be behind here. Elite 2, but they've done such a stellar job at closing the gap.
That's a dead even game. 2 seconds. Elite 2 here for the initial time, but it's not the setup that they want. PD, not going to be able to find it. Grad finds 2. Now bank control all here for Elite 2. You got to worry about player number 7. That's Brezzy, is inside the doggy door. Could potentially find an entry frag. While Obtained Esports, they are having themselves a little bit of a pinch setup. Good opening kill from Genesis. Could be an opportunity for themselves to work their way in towards this hill, and they absolutely need to do it now.
Oh, PD picks up 2. Genesis there for the 3rd. Why the hell not? And look where Elite 2 are spawning. Obtained cannot finish it here. But this is a problem for Elite 2. They had such a big lead in this game. This is simply not something that you want to let slip, especially as the rest of the series does go forward. But Obtained looking pretty good here inside this hard point. Wardy and Hawkeye, the closest players to do anything about this. But PT on a 4 spree. This is a problem. Hawkeye, you got to deal with him right now. He tries. Genesis comes to the rescue, though. And now Obtained will get those last few seconds of time. There's 15 points away here from going. And as you say, the game clock is on the cards here. 22 seconds left.
22 seconds left, and the team have the hard point contested. This is their lead. This is 100% their map to lose. They're also threatening the rotation. They're in a power position. Elite 2, they got to deal with these players. They got to get them off, and they're able to do so.
Elite 2, they're still in, looking for the time though. It's going to be Genesis, he's in, and now Aroma versus Hawkeye. They're going to bring down the game clock. Obtained will win it here. That's why Aroma's not going for the gunfight. He's able to play time, but now Elite 2 back in the hard point. There's still presence coming in from Brezzy and PE, still causing problems from Checkers. Brezzy able to get yet another one. Genesis is there, but the game clock is in. Obtained, they know how they wanted to play that. They did not need to push for those last few kills, and that's one of the first times in so long that we've seen a game clock here on the community stream. It doesn't happen that often, and that just goes to show how contested that entire game was.
Well, after the first set of hills, it was all contested, and just even when we went through the first set of hills through P2, we were sitting there watching Elite 2 continuously keeping Obtained Esports just trapped inside of P2, always keeping it contested. And that continued onward. Even the lead that Elite 2 had, which was reaching about 60 seconds or so, through all the sets of hard points, it was just continuously scrappy. Yes, there were convincing 30 seconds here and there on money hills like 2 and 3, but that's the nature of Moscow. That's the setups that you're going to end up having. That's how methodical Lead 2 and Obtain looked as far as their breaks and how back and forth they truly went. We saw sprees not only from Aroma, Brezzy started heating things up, PD and Genesis, every single member from Obtain. And then you look on the side for Elite 2, Wardy. Dropped a 35 plus kills in that as well. Grad also dropping a 30 bomb. Those are things that you're going to have to try to wipe the sweat off your brow, because that is just truly unfortunate to have such a stellar start to that game of Obtained Esports, just winning on that condition of just the game clock and just coming back at the very end of that hard point. That's just insane.
Yeah, I wonder if we can ask our observer real quick to bring up our scoreboard, at least for us, to see exactly how sort of this final breakdown went there in terms of KDs and such, because I do feel really bad in particular for Wardy. He was starting out extremely hot, but I think there was a real moment in that game where Obtained, they started to look dangerous, right? I mean, it was that rotation over towards P2. They broke in, they held it, I think most importantly for the majority of the time, and then they made a crucial rotation over towards the next hard point. Really well played from them. So they kind of escape a rather dangerous situation there, don't they? Because you mentioned it in the middle of that game, the fact that Obtained, they were 9-3, I believe it was, in 9-4, sorry, in terms of hard point stats over the course of stage 2. That's a huge statistic. It is easily their best game mode, and they couldn't afford to lose that, especially going into the search and destroy here, Andy, because this does not favor Obtained from a stat point of view.
Yeah, you go back to Team Moon versus 67K. That was the only time that we saw, at least through stage 2, this Obtained roster play on Moscow hardpoint. They won both those hardpoints pretty convincingly, but their search was just so lackluster that when it went to that map 5, they just lost out. So now when you're looking at Obtain, again, former Team Moon, that you're hoping that through at least the week off that they were able to try to work these nuances as far as search and destroy is concerned, because even in that matchup that they faced against Elite 2, when it did go to the map number 5, it was tight. We will end up seeing at least a replay if we do end up getting to that Miami search and destroy. But for the checkmate search and destroy, this is going to be very interesting. Where those ARs going to be lined up at? Is PD just going to continuously fry with the Crick 6 in hand? Are we going to see any sort of trickery with a different weapon? I'm not too sure, but the search and destroy, it's got to be on point here for this Obtained roster if they want to make a run in towards the playoff bracket.
It does. And just to remind you folks at home, this match, it is at the end of the day in winners round 1 of our knockout bracket. So this isn't for elimination just yet, but starting your bracket off with a win here is crucial. The winner of this matchup will, of course, go on to face the winner of Connect 4 versus August. That match is also going on right now, and we'll try to keep you guys updated with what's going on with that. But for now, let's jump into Search and Destroy. It's checkmate. This is a one bomb site map.
It's like 99.99%. I'm pretty sure you go to B more than Lysol kills germs, but Obtained, they're just going to find themselves now in a 2v2. Aroma still has the bomb, but Genesis has a little bit of a flank with an MP5.
Oh, Genesis and the MP5, name a better Geo. He seems to be rocking it at the moment. I love this experimentation with the meta that we're seeing here from Genesis, of course. For those of you unaware, we did recently have a patch where, well, the game has changed quite significantly. We could be seeing a number of new weapons maybe introduced into the meta over the course of the next few days. It's going to make playoffs rather interesting. But as we turn our attention back towards this game, Hawkeye now in a 1 versus 2. He's able to take down Aroma. Now 30 seconds left on the clock. Hawkeye versus Genesis. What does Hawkeye have for us here? He's going to go straight to look into the bomb site. Goes for the pre-fire. That's going to let Genesis know. Genesis comes in with the timing. Knows that Hawkeye is so unlikely to actually check that. And unfortunately, he doesn't. So, win there for Obtained in round number 1.
Hey, it's just Genesis MP5. It was just running around the plane, back staircase, just causing an absolute ruckus. They found 3 in that round. And that was off the opening push inside of B. Again, you are going to see B pushes more often than not, regardless of how Infinity felt about that 1A push that happened last week. It's just so tough to make that happen without a handful of engagements going your way in the long distance form. But hopping on board with Genesis, they're just going to hit this immediately all the way through. But look at the kill feed just bleeding in red. Genesis is the only left alive.
Well, Genesis has been pretty good this series so far, unfortunately. It's not to be this time around. A very quick round where Elite 2... if you guys... by the way, this is just a thing for you guys at home. Obviously, you do see the correct names at the top of your screen, but the actual... When it pops up on screen saying Obtained Esports won the round, they did not win the round. It was Elite 2. We've got the names the wrong way around. But, yeah, that was so quick. Elite 2 just made very quick work of that one. And I like the aggression coming up from Obtained. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, and it came down to the middle of the plane. You saw it in the best play, right? That's what happens when you just try to aggressively just push it. You even saw on board with Genesis just did not stop. That was the call defensively to get aggressive. It didn't work out. So now we'll have to see if those mid-round adaptations really start coming all the way through here in round 3. Elite 2 for their offense. Again, looking for this plane. Genesis carrying the bomb. Just going to hit this immediately all the way through.
Genesis switching over to the Krig 6 here. Thinks that maybe he'll have better luck with this weapon inside the plane. Grad's the closest player that you could theoretically deal with here, and it's so hard to take this plane on offense. Rafi's able to draw first blood here, and that's going to leave Genesis in a horrible position. It is just so hard to do anything, and Petey's really going to be the arbiter of this play. He's able to get one, does get away with his life. The information is there, though, for Elite 2. They know that there is presence over towards the right side now, but with 45 seconds left here, this is all on Obtained. How do you approach this play?
Got 38 seconds left to do so. That's what was about to be my question. What's the util look like? Grad's just going to hit it. Past the Semtex, 10 HP. They won't be able to get away with their life. PD finds 2. Now it's just up to Hockey in a 1v3 situation. 27 seconds. Elite 2, they got to plant the bomb plus find the kill. If not both, why not? Hockey, what can you do?
He does put out PT. PT's going to have seen him also, though, so Hawkey's still got quite a lot to do here in this situation. No quarter given just yet. And there you go, shots on the right side. Aroma, if he doesn't finish him off, PD will. And we're seeing a very unique situation here, aren't we, Andy? Offense is being won pretty consistently across the first 3 rounds.
Well, that defensive setup, too, was very interesting. It was a one-dimensional setup that they really wanted to worry about what Genesis might end up doing. If they might hit underneath the landing gears for this broken down plane. Underneath it, maybe. They had a player, I believe it was Wardy. They were on that platform in between the fin and the tube, just looking directly at that B cross. Nobody was worried about the A lane directly, and that is just a recipe for unfortunate mistakes. That avenue just became an unfortunate pinch. Elite 2 now have an opportunity to try to take this with a lead. Rezi just posted up on the bomb site, has some help with PD. Over by the doorway, now Obtained with a minute plus left. They got to try to figure out what they could possibly do to work one of these sites.
Again, it's just this problem, isn't it? On the offense, how do you get control of the site? Look at these shots through the wall from Rezi. Surely not. Rafi barely escapes with his life there. Grad still wants a piece of Brezi's cake. I wonder how Brezi would taste. I don't think it would be a nice taste, would it? Let's be honest. But nonetheless,
well, I don't think about these things at all.
No, well, yeah, I don't tell me you've not thought about that before, Andy. Come on, man.
At least today, you would taste at least the hint of coconut and pineapple. I can tell you that much with that shirt on.
Yes, yeah, I definitely would. I don't think that's related to today, just generally. That's just me. Anyway, right. PE ended up picking up the first blood against Grad. Finally, some players falling here, but it's in favor of Elite 2. Just Genesis down in a 1 versus 3. He does pick up 1. Hawkey, gets Hawkey as well. Does he get away? Yes, he does. And now 10 seconds on the clock. Genesis is just a slice of time away from winning this 1 versus 3. Rafi spots him out, though. Clutches up in the 1 versus 1 and stops Genesis there. And that right there is his S&D skills kicking in. You might remember that Rafi actually does come from Search and Destroy all the way back in, I think it was Black Ops 4, prior to that as well, World War II. He was a Search and Destroy start, and that right there is those instincts kicking in.
I gotta tell you, I was just intently watching through the X-ray to see if Genesis was turning around. They even turned around, had the gunfight. So scary when you're in Rafi's shoes right there, because if you lose that, that's the round. That is so unfortunate because your win condition essentially was the time. But still is able to win it. Rezi still yet to find a kill. Through 4 rounds now in round number 5. The offense for Elite 2, again, it's been good trades back and forth as far as rounds are concerned, and these two teams are really adapting to each other. But look at the aggressive push from Attain defensively. The A lane is theirs. Well, was.
Oh, Costa's curse right there, right, Andy? It always happens, doesn't it? Well, 3
versus... got Grad up there.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Grad is in a position here where, I mean, I shouldn't have to say this on a map like Checkmate, but where he could really clutch away a defensive round. Is Obtain looking to further at least even the odds here. Wardy, oh, he tries to spot out Brezzy. It doesn't happen though. Brezzy takes him down. And Grad, he tries to act on his position. Unfortunately, he's going to fall. A flawless round there from Obtain Esports on the offense. What the hell is going on? What is going so cataclysmically wrong here on the defense for these teams? It's checkmate, search and destroy, for heaven's sake.
I mean, the game is about a few months old at this point. I remember talking with you a few months back that teams are still going to continue to learn, and Search and Destroy is an everlasting adaptation as far as meta shifts and trying to learn what your adversaries are doing. When you're thinking about the top 6 teams here in EU, I can only imagine that they probably play a few 8s together. They probably end up playing a few scrims, if not back and forth between Search. A lot of nuances you can learning about the opposite side of the table, but for an offense for Obtain looking to even things back up. They have players inside the plane, but again, they lose. They get first blooded.
Genesis, again, finally here, the defense starting to win out. Grad and Hawkey, the last players left up. Hawkey does pick up one. That's going to be a Roma. PD tries to get that trade. Unfortunately, he's not able to do it. And Genesis is going to pick up Grad. So now just Hawkey, a 1 versus 3, looking for an ace in this round to win the offense. If not, Obtained Esports will find themselves 4-2 up. PT has his number, though, and Obtained take the advantage. Finally, somebody wins a defense. I'm utterly shocked.
Okay. Well, it's doable. We're here. Checkmate between Elite 2 and Obtain. We got ourselves a Search and Destroy defensive round win. Love to see it. But it's a 2-round lead in that case for Elite 2. 8-2 for Genesis. 8-3 for PD. They're both on 3 streaks. And whether or not you can end up using these rounds as far as a buffer to play for these score streaks, I don't know if it would be too viable. I mean, we're in a warehouse for heaven's sakes, but still the information from an artillery strike is good for the Search and Destroy win. But Elite 2, for an offense, again, aggressively want to take this plane. Genesis just hits it all the way through with the MP5. Did they see the boot? They do. Great first blood.
Oh, Genesis, he's got 20/20 vision, sees the boot of Wardy. Roma follows up with another one. And PD is able to bring it all the way down to just Rafi in a 1 versus 3. Hawkey couldn't win the last one. Can Rafi win this one? This would, I mean, not necessarily spell disaster, but it wouldn't leave Elite 2 in a great position, and it doesn't. And I really love the aggression coming out there from Obtained Esports. They just came on through. Genesis really made that entire play happen.
Well, I mean, when was the last time that we saw that push come all the way through? It was like round number 2. So they were holding that ace in their sleeve, and wonderfully played out, at least from a mental standpoint from Elite 2. They start playing more methodical, just trying to play for trades. Obtain Esports, they're expecting that. Not expecting Genesis with an MP5, just a hit all the way through that staircase in that A wing. PD still on a 4 spree. Map point here for Elite 2, looking to even up the series.
Indeed, Elite 2 feeling a lot more aggressive now, a lot more confident with the play. Pete and Brezzy playing this one together inside the plane. Genesis and Tetris, this could be a problem that I think Elite 2 will want to deal with. And Rafi going to try it, but Genesis gets the first few shots off. Elsewhere, Hawkey does take down a Roma. So this is now a manageable situation for Obtained Esports, or sorry, for Elite 2. But now it's a 1 versus 4. Yeah, the names are switched for us, guys. I'm sorry, all right. Sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. But the good news here is Elite 2, they survive.
I wish that my mic was more sensitive so everybody could hear the amount of face palms that I have done. If I don't have a giant bruise on my forehead, my camera doesn't pick it up and really doesn't end up doing it justice. But yeah, now an opportunity to potentially go up 2-0 as far as the series is concerned. But Elite 2, I mean, they're looking to claw all the way back. It's a tough one to climb back from. PD is certainly heated up in the series. It's now 10-4. And again, the aggression from Obtain is just such an uncertainty for Elite 2. They got players inside of the main cabin here, and they're throwing a few Semtexes, so this is going to keep Genesis at bay. But they still want to be able to push all the way through, and you got to worry about a Roma who just has this A lane covered. Elite 2, they don't have an immediate answer to look at that cross.
Pressure still on here for Elite 2. Still got to win 3 rounds on the bounce, 4 including the last. Got to pull something special out of the hat here. And what do you do to find that advantage? Brezzy trying to play with this Elite 2 lineup. Also has the support of Genesis here on the assault of this plane. First shot does come in. Genesis actually wins it against Grad. Semtex goes on through. There is no trade good, though. And now this leaves Elite 2 once again in this classic horrible position, but Rafi may just hold the key to the play. Brezzy through the windows to the wall. Why the hell not? As Elite 2, they're unable to close out 6-3 in favor of Obtained Esports. Brezzy is absolutely on one.
I mean, Brezzy, we only had one kill going in towards this round, and then we just see that. Brezzy's like, yeah, I'm still here, by the way. I'm the entry SMG. I've been getting smoked and traded on every single turn, but I can make that play happen. Again, it's such an uncertainty when you're looking from Elite 2 standpoint. The last time Obtain got aggressive like that in their previous few offenses was back in round number 2, and then they're continuously getting aggressive to close things out. When you're just looking at that from Elite 2 perspective, you're thinking that you're able to find the trades that you can hunker down certain spots, but that's your role as an SMG player when you're looking at it from Genesis' perspective with a P5, or at least from Brezzy in that round with the 74. You to make those plays happen, that's what makes those so special, especially in Search and Destroy. And all the woes, all the question marks now turn into exclamation marks for me, Brody, because Obtain have definitely looked pretty good on that Search and Destroy. Now they lead in this series going in towards that control.
Yeah, that was massive. That was a massive map there from Obtained because, of course, we spoke about the stat line going into it. 3 and 6 were obtained in Search and Destroy. 6 and 4, I believe, were Elite 2. So very different stat lines there going into that map. And now we go into Control, where both of these two teams have not seen a lot of fortune. I believe both of them are 2 and 5. Right. This has not been a great game mode for these two teams at all throughout Stage 2. If we can bring up the map set, actually, this will be the first time that we actually get to show you guys the map set for this series. It will be nice, won't it? Double Raid coming up next, and then Miami Search and Destroy if we do go that distance to close out the series. But the question here is, Andy, will we go the distance? Will this be a 3-0, a 3-1 in favor of Obtained?
Well, last time that we went to Control between these two teams in the round robin matchup, it actually went in Elite 2's favor. That was on Checkmate, though, and went all the way around 5. And it's hard to compare Checkmate and even Garrison to Raid Control, just for the way that the overall map plays out. You are more often than not looking at an easier time getting an offensive round win, if not being able to secure at least a zone on Raid comparatively to the other two in the map pool. But it all comes down to being able to execute on what each of those individual kills mean. So that's when you can cross-reference the hard point at the beginning for Elite 2, for that Moscow. Every single kill meant something for them. They continued to deny the map away from Obtain and keep them trapped. And the same you could say about Obtain at the tail end of that hard point as well. It's really tough to be able to say if this could end up going towards a map 5, but for Control, at least statistically, you can't really say that it goes in anyone's direction, but you get better hope that the SMG lineup for Elite 2 are coming in towards this Control red hot, because you got a very fiery SMG duo over on that Obtain Esports side that is ready to put you in the dirt.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, isn't it? You know, you face down those two SMG players here in Brezzy and Genesis, and it is a scary, scary sight. So I'd be concerned here if I was Elite 2. Now, I guess this is a chance, really, as we do get into this next map very soon, to talk very briefly about sort of the fortune that these two teams have seen recently, because they do come into Stage 2. It's underdog rosters. I don't think I think if you had to choose 3 teams at which you would be like, right, 2 of those are getting relegated, I think people would have picked 67K. I think people would have pick the then Team Moon, and then of course this Elite 2 roster. That is not how any of that transpired. Of course, we saw, just like in Stage 1 with House Taff, a very surprise loss in Train Hard Esports, who unfortunately were unable to perform very well in Stage 2, and 67K were the only roster of those 3 to be eliminated. And actually, Elite 2 and Obtained, they've both had their successes in Stage 2 with, I don't know if you can call them surprise wins at this point. They've had pretty consistent performances across the season. But Elite 2, they ended up being August and Connect 4. We also had the then Team Moon, of course, now Obtained, beating Los Galacticos as well. That was a 3-0 as well, that latter series, in favor of Obtained Esports. So these guys, you know, going forward in this knockout bracket, right, Andy, not just relating to this match, they are a serious threat to the teams up here already in that playoff bracket in the form of Passion and Los Galacticos.
And I'm glad that you actually brought up that matchup between what is now Obtained versus Los Galacticos in that last matchup, because that's the only time that we saw the Raid Control, and that's what makes this team so deadly, is that at the beginning of the season, or at least through Stage 2, for this Obtained roster, very slow start for them. Not exactly what we expected. You and I casted over top of them in the qualifier. They absolutely laid waste to them, but it's a whole different league of their own. It's a shark-infested waters here as far as top 6, top 8 teams in EU is concerned, but at the tail end, and in that matchup specifically, that's where I feel like we saw this Obtained Esports at their best. And on that map, too, of Raid Control, It was not close. 3-1 was that overall score line. And again, that SMG duo in tandem with Brezzy and Genesis was absolutely lights out. Aroma, when they start having all that space to play with, they start frying. And I think, again, this has a workings to be a top contending for a team. I mean, Elite 2, they're not far behind them. And again, through the qualifier, they were absolutely doing quite well for them. The really only team that they struggled with was Passion. And, well, this team here of Team Moon now obtained. So I think when you're looking at this going in towards the raid control, you're a little bit shaky, given that the only time you played it, you are 1-3. But we'll have to see how they fare.
Well, we will indeed. Backs against the wall here are Elite 2, of course. This isn't elimination just yet. There is a loser's bracket here to be had in the knockout stages, but Obtained Esports, they are looking pretty good. We'll see whether or not they're able to close out this series. Elite 2 start things off on the offense, though, and it's not going so badly right out of the gate. Grad and Hawkeye already making progress on the point, but PE has something to say about it. How loud can you be, PE? Unfortunately, not loud enough. Elite 2, they are going to capture Zone A relatively quickly.
2 minutes and 17 seconds, casually. Even life lead. Now you're just looking for the middle of the map and try to slow things down if you are Obtained, because, I mean, that was just a blitzkrieg pace. Trades are going to be good, and now you're just hoping that you're going to be able to keep Aroma in top bedroom. That is such a big spot, but they try to push on forward. 2 kills coming the way for Elite 2. Now they can get out of their spawn.
Hawkeye able to pick up Brezzy. So pressure now for Elite 2 inside the kitchen. If Hawkeye can continue to do bits out the back here, this will be a problem for Obtained Esports, but PE comes from the elbow, able to pick up 2 kills there. And now Elite 2, this frontward-facing pressure all down to just Grad. It was Wardy also there, but it is now just Grad inside Tiki. And at this point, you'd imagine it's just a case of trying to hold off your teammates to come on through bedroom. That is exactly what's going to happen. Grad now has the support of Rafi, but Aroma's in the backline. Aroma's in basketball. He's bouncing you up and down. Bye-bye, Wardy. Bye-bye, Grad. And now it's just Rafi on the point.
1 minute, 14 seconds. You've already shaved 60 seconds off the board and kept lives even. That is all good if you're looking at this from the defensive standpoint. 2 more kills come their way. And exactly what I was talking about. Obtained did a great job of just slowing it down, finding the trades, playing these power positions. Rafi tried to go for a heroic play. Just couldn't get inside of Tiki in time. Now we're just down to 50 seconds. Again, 12 lives for each of these teams. And you got to get the middle of the map. You got to deal with the Roma somehow, some way. They finally overwhelm them, but it's still not good enough for Elite 2 to get towards this B zone.
Time dwindling down in this game here. Elite 2 going to have to start bucking up their ideas here as Aroma picks up 2 inside kitchen, shuts down that immediate push. The lives now very much in favor of Obtained Esports, and you can see the pressure really mounting from them here. They pushed all the way up into vent, into bedroom, into vent, into bedroom. Genesis! Oh my goodness, a 7 spree for him. An artillery strike ready and raring to go. Obtained have dominated these last few seconds in this game, for the last 30 seconds as a matter of fact, and now it's just Grad, a 1 versus 10. Grad, look, buddy, I mean, at this point, you're just looking to save your dignity here a little bit. You know, try and do something in these last few seconds, maybe take down Genesis off your streak, as, well, Grad, he's actually going to play his life, so that's 1 less life that they have to be concerned about later on, but that's a really good adaptation coming out there from Obtained, because they lost that A zone very quickly.
Yeah, they really did. It had 2 minutes and 15 seconds on the bank, and I was just jaw-dropped from there on out. But the one condition I had said had to come through for Obtained, and they executed wonderfully. They get middle of the map, they get top bedroom, and they slow it down, finding those trades. And again, when did Genesis pick up the MP5? What was it, like the second set of hills through Moscow Hardpoint? And they have not dropped it ever since. Maybe a quick 6 here and there through a few rounds on Checkmate, Search and Destroy. 10-6. We got streaks to play with here, fully out of their mind. And that's what's so scary, because Obtained, when you're thinking about raid control and with these streaks, you get info from the ping and you get a lot of clearance. It's a lot of usage for these resources to see if they can get one of these zones, if not both of them, for an offensive round win.
Obtained Esports looking to have a good start to this round. Genesis able to pick up 1. If he can get this second player, it would be huge. What? I mean, I don't know why I doubt him. I don't know why there was even an if on that sentence, because Genesis has just been lights out all series long. He has streaks to work with as well, and that is extremely scary for this Elite 2 roster as well. Just a second. Genesis! Genesis! Somebody stop him! Oh my god! Genesis! He's just continuing! This is an MP5! Genesis is setting a meta here, looking for Grad. Somebody stop him. Finally, Grad wins the gunfight, but Genesis finds himself on yet another tear here at the start of round number 2. The point has already gone Obtained's way, but now, of course, they find themselves in the same position we saw Elite 2 in the prior round, and Elite 2, they didn't end up winning it.
Still a 5-kill lead if you are Obtained, and even if you don't win this offense, you're still feeling pretty good, but it looks like they still are going to be able to potentially get themselves on this B zone. MP5 is giving me flashbacks to Modern Warfare with the shots that are coming out from Genesis. Nothing too bold, people, but Obtained are able to find themselves presence of mind for this beast. Genesis is just going to continue to push it. 18 and 7 for them. Is going to get the flash check, but it has many players to worry about. But what a pace being set out of this Obtained Esports roster on this offense.
It's just a crazy offense here coming in from Obtained, and the problem is you've got to deal with Brezzy inside Cube. If you don't, you've got no basketball control, and that is a problem when you're trying to stop an offensive push coming in here from Obtained. But Elite 2, trying to take this one from the open steps. Hawkey's able to push on through here. Massive 1v1. PT ends up winning it. The good news, though, for Elite 2, they've regained the pressure around the front. But this life differential between the two teams, it is such a massive problem. 17 versus 7. Elite, they have their backs against the wall here. It is now just down to 6. Hawkey, he is going to fall. Lovely kill from Pete. He's just dipping and diving through the kitchen, cooking up a storm. Somebody called Gino De Campo has obtained 13 versus 2. This is a foregone conclusion at this point. Once again, Elite 2 find themselves in their last man standing. It's Wardy, the newest addition to this Elite 2 roster. What do, Wardy? You die. Of course you do. Just get out the round. Just let it be over with.
It's about an 18-kill lead that Obtained have going in towards this next round. So, I mean, Elite 2, the narrative for the series was a reverse sweep. Now the narrative for the controls for another reverse sweep. This is such a scary spot to be in. If you are looking this down the barrel for not only the streaks that were not even invested, but the overall pressure that Genesis is bringing with an MP5. And the meta shift, it seems to be pretty favorable for them as far as an entry SMG is concerned. They're 19-11 for crying out loud. Their duo of Brezzy is behind them, to say the least, at 7 and 10. It's just kind of hanging back, just watching the crosses. And look at the AR lineup and what they're able to do with Genesis and the pressure that they're bringing. Just absolutely frying. You don't know what this player's going to do. Well, that's a definite what you're going to get an answer for. A 2-piece via the Semtex over inside of Zig. Hockey's going to be able to take down the trade. But wow, this Obtained Esports on this map mode, I tell you.
Yeah, it's a problem, and I think the thing is, right, you've got to consider there are multiple problems here that Elite 2 face, right, overall. It's, first of all, you're 2-0 down. I mean, that's probably the first problem, if anything. Secondly, you're down so heavily in lives. So heavily now. You're down, I think, by, I say 25 in total across the first 2 rounds. That really is going to matter when it comes to an eventual round 5, of course, if Elite 2 are able to push the envelope. But honestly, I don't know if that's in question at the moment. You've got 48 seconds now left on the clock. Elite 2... their moves over towards B, they just haven't worked out. They've had to back up over towards A. Pressure is on, to be fair. They're not having a bad go at getting this A point, and I think I'd go as far to say Obtained, I don't think they particularly care. You can kind of see them clearly setting up here for a potential push over towards B. The problem is Elite 2 have already got themselves set up for a momentum swing, but PT, Aroma, they deal with that, and Obtained now set themselves up for this Elite 2 push towards B.
Yeah, you would have loved just to be able to take kitchen control and leave it at that while the A zone was being secured, but you don't overextend there if you are Obtained. You were already down in lives, but now you just see themselves in the same spot that they did back in round number 1. Give up the A zone, 60 seconds. We don't care. We'll slow down the pace. We'll continuously put people inside a bedroom to keep poking at these spawns. Next one up will be Genesis, and all of Elite 2 know exactly where they're located at. They won't even be able to get the regen. So an opportunity presents itself, given that the shot punch is going to be good for Elite 2 to potentially take middle of the map, but they got to find a convincing kill feed.
They do indeed. Obtained Esports. They're dealing with the pressure relatively well. As I say that, though, Grad and Wardy able to pick up 2. Hawkey's now the last player left up on the point. He's facing some serious pressure coming in here. Down inside the Tiki. Apparently he's not very good at mixology. As Obtained Esports now looking to push here onto Elite 2. Now, the good news is for Elite, they have managed to get rid of the pressure inside bedroom. So that is a potential path that they can take. The problem with that is you've got players with streaks, you've got players with ARs. I mean, to be fair, they're basically streaks at this point with the way that Obtained have been playing in this series. You have a 5-life advantage if you're Obtained Esports. Elite 2, they need one good push here. 30 seconds on the clock. Aroma, he is going to fall. So Elite 2, they have an opening here as Grad picks up 1. The trades in Elite 2's favor, and now finally some pressure on this point.
This has to be the push. You're down to 23 seconds. You're down to just one more respawn. Grad wants to press this forward, but Obtain, they find the kills. Now they're just down to their last 4 lives. Rafi, 1v1, is able to find it, but now you're just down to 10 seconds. You're hoping that you're able to find these kills, and they're able to do so. Just 2 more respawns for Obtain, and Elite 2, they got the B zone secured for the time being.
This is still possible, but the streaks come in. Just a 3 versus 5 now. 6 seconds on the clock. You've got Hawkeye left alive on the point. He's gonna fall. Obtained. They come out. They sweep him in the control. They sweep him up in the series. Obtained. They made that look so goddamn easy. And what a control from them. That was just crazy.
Again, it's just the pace. That's what we saw at the end of the hard point there on Moscow. It's just the slaying pressure just was nonstop. It was relentless. And again, when I would think about this Obtained roster and what we saw from them come the qualifiers and through all of stage 2 so far, it's really been, at least in my opinion, the Brezzy and Aroma show. But this was probably the nastiest that I have seen Genesis consistently across all 3 map modes in a best of 5 series. That was absolutely lights out. And that's the pressure that you're going to have to deal with when you're going up against Obtain. It's patch aside. I don't really care. That is just a built different kind of type deal in what we ended up seeing, because Obtain, through the grit all the way through that Moscow hardpoint, they just absolutely found themselves a new way of life and just continuously and relentlessly pushing Elite 2 back.
Look, all I'm saying is, Gabe, if you're listening, which you will be, this will probably be clipped because I know Alicia's here, CDC update. I know they've been clipping tweets about me talking about cake, right? Listen, I don't want to see any more tweets out of you talking about meta changes or guns or anything like that, because you guys just 3-0'd Elite 2 with Genesis using the MP5, and he looks scary with it. Really scary with that weapon. Honestly, this new, I would say this new Obtained lineup, but honestly, everyone looks new at the moment with the current meta and such. It does look really great. They're looking extremely confident. A 3 over Elite 2 is no easy feat, especially when you compare how close their previous series have been the last few times that these two teams have faced off. So, Obtained, they come out with a 3-0 in the series. Let's take a look at the map set to really show you guys how it all broken down. And I do want to make it clear as well, it isn't like this was a massive walk in the park for Obtained, because it wasn't. Specifically relating to that first hard point, Obtained had to fight tooth and nail to climb back into that map number 1. And you guys can see as well, it went to time. But the Checkmate Search and Destroy and the raid control, I think, although Checkmate, I would say that did look shaky, especially with the way that those early rounds are going, I'd say it was relatively convincingly in favor of this Obtained lineup.
Yeah, and again, like, I don't even know if it was like a giant mental boom that came through at the end of that hard point, because for all intents and purposes, we should be loading into a map number 4 right now. Elite 2 had that hard point pretty darn secure. They did a great job throughout that first set of hills, and even through a lot of those rounds, we were trading defense for defense on that search and destroy. It's really the control that lost them, and it's just Obtained being able to push the envelope that much further. Again, both teams walking in towards that mode 2 and 5, but they found themselves what worked, and it was mostly just Genesis going absolutely AWOL with an MP5, just being able to find the space. That was that ace factor, that ace in the hole that Elite 2 were missing. And I'm not saying that Grad and Hockey were certainly not able to end up do it, but it was just not at the same potency that we saw from Obtained. And that's what you got to end up having. And this was a big showcasing for them too. Again, former Team Moon, you come in towards this knockout bracket as Obtained. Elite 2, they're knocked down to the losers bracket, but this Obtained roster, I mean, they are white hot going in towards that qualification match.
Absolutely, they are Obtained. They 3-0 this Elite 2 roster. Not an easy feat whatsoever. They fought throughout the entirety of the series, and they are going to be going through to the qualification match for playoff bracket. Of course, Passion and Los Galacticos already there, and today is all about finding those last 2 teams for tomorrow. We're going to send it to a quick break, guys, before we get into our second match, which of course will be the losers round 1 match, the elimination match here in the knockout bracket. But while I have your attention, make sure that you go check out youtube.com/COD Challengers. That official stream will be going live very shortly, and that's where you can watch the first qualification matchup, that final. And of course, we've got some wonderful casters. Of course, not anywhere near as beautiful as me, but that happens, but they are over there casting some Call of Duty, so make sure you go check that out. For now, though, guys, we're going to throw it to a break. When we return, we've got some more Call of Duty, and it's going to be beautiful.
max to the beat. G9 band got your ass out your seat. NYC is the place where I be, but G2G. So you might not see me, I'm gonna be a rock star. Fuck what you think, I ain't scared of a damn thing. Run like a sink, if you wanna get some, I'm the man to see. Bow down to the king, who the fuck you be? I get money worldwide, never localized. Stop riding my dick, not circumcised. Ask the G9 band who run this shit. Each member's mad sick, just take your pick. And I'm rolling on a track like a fucking kush crusher. My girl is fine, so you know I'm gonna touch her. When I get time, best believe I'ma fuck up. And I'ma make it big like Mother Russia.
Break, break, stop it for your own sake. I don't think this fight could be a mistake.
Forget all your tears, stop all your tears. Don't take those tears, cause you own them.
Break, break, stop it for your own sake. I don't think this fight could be a mistake.
Forget all your tears, stop all your tears. Don't take those tears, cause you own them.
Break, break, stop it for your own sake. You gotta break, break, stop it for your own sake. You gotta break, break, stop it for your own sake. You gotta break, break, stop it for your own sake. You gotta break, break, stop it for your own sake. You gotta.
I've been trying to come up with the highest of feelings, but there ain't nothing new under the sun, so you avoid to touch any of the cold waters, 'cause sometimes love ain't that thing you're afraid of. Show me a place where a face ain't worth the dime. I pack my bags and I'll be gone. Show me roads I must roam to get above all those waving hands I believe. Your visions are in light.
hustle and motivate. Follow me, I know the way. Grind hard on them every night and day. And the 40 bang hard in the air, I don't play. I aim for the neck and the jugular. So don't people think I'm a smuggler. Don't get it confused, bro, I'm just a hustler. Been in the gym, so I got my muscle up. I'm like Yosemite Sam in the Wild West. I just laugh at them when they wear a vest, cause it's headshots on sight. I don't do beef, I just lay it to rest. I'm so hungry, my flow sound malicious. On my journey, I'm chasing my riches. I got so many reasons that I gotta make it, so I wake up and I go get it. I move like I'm the mob in my all black. You ain't down with my squad, you can fall back. If you never seen greatness, then you bout to witness, and you gon' know what you should call that. Every song that I've been on is a hit like a ball back. I took some losses, but I got them all back. Been at the bottom and I'm never going back. I'm fully focused and I'm on track. I'm tired of waiting, I'm running out of patience. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm tired of waiting, I'm running out of patience. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm tired of waiting, I'm running out of patience. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm about to make my move right now. Yeah, I came up straight from the bottom. Put on the gas, yeah, that's the throttle. I get the smash cause I get the bottle. These people mad cause I get the mile. I'm changing lanes in my auto. Get to the bag is my motto. I'm coming up cause I stay down. Grind so hard I can't slow down. Nothing was given, started from the mud. I wrapped it up and now it's a drum. If you wanna play, count my bluff. I'm not gonna pull it if I ain't gon' bust. I'm making a movie, cooking up too. On the freeway, I got no roof. I'm nothing but crack, yeah, that's true. I'm about to win, don't know about you. Tired of waiting, I'm running out of patience. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm tired of waiting, I'm running out of patience. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm tired of waiting, I'm running out of patience. I'm about to make my move right now. I'm about to make my move right now.
Yeah, sometimes things in life just don't go your way. And today is one of those days where, well, I woke up this morning. I had a really great day. I thought, I woke up, I had some good food. I even ate a cookie. And today we've got to the point where, after the first match of Call of Duty for everybody at home, we on the community stream must tell you that we cannot bring you coverage of the losers round one matchup. We will not go into the reasons why we cannot bring you this matchup. However, it is not going to happen. And for that reason, mine and Andy's time here on the community stream today is done. It's over. Nil point. We out. Andy, I know that you look very solemn at the moment. You look very sad, and I understand why. Like I said, sometimes things in life just they don't go your way. But at least you got to cast with me today, right, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely. And I always look forward to these weeks that I always get to enjoy my time with my favorite lad from across the land, from across the ocean, man. It's always a great time casting Call of Duty with you.
Wow.
I'm glad that we at least were able to bring the coverage for at least the opening match, because I mean, that Obtain versus Elite 2 matchup, although ending in 3, was a really good series, and it was really good showcasing for what you're in store for the rest of the knockout bracket, and hell, even the playoff bracket that's going to be happening tomorrow. And I mean, don't forget to go check out the mainstream, of course. Yes. That's where a lot of the coverage will be having, and that's where we're going to be hanging out as well in the chat while I go put this pizza in the oven, and, I'm just going to sit here and just kind of vibe out, waiting for a night to start.
Yeah, absolutely. It means I can go grab a cup of tea in typical British style, maybe a couple of biscuits as well, sip on that while watching the rest of the stream. Of course, as Andy did just mention, you guys, Challengers coverage of today isn't technically over, of course. We do have the main stream still to give you guys some coverage, and you can check that out at youtube.com/COD Challengers. Of course, we've got the wonderful Ton, Bryce, and Dream Crazy, and they're over there going to be bringing you all the action from the main stream, the qualification matchup. So make sure you guys don't miss it, because it's going to be great. For now, though, thank you everybody for listening to me talk absolute rubbish for the first series of the day. And of course, Andy bringing all the wonderful analysis for today. For now, though, we'll see you guys when we see you.
Where I came from, LA, show me screaming, don't trip. They don't wanna see me win. They don't wanna see me win. None of y'all is kidding. I beat the game twice, I'm on the final boss again. Let me break it down, no one cares about your craft, cause you ain't even getting looked at unless you talking cash. Everybody wanna rap, nobody wanna write. Nobody wanna be putting in the long hours. Y'all cowards get no flowers. Y'all some doubters acting super but got no powers. I'm like Bowser hawking fire straight up out of my tower. I got the potion, while y'all is comatose. I'll be here forever like the vastness of the ocean. I'm a